What up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's your guy. Some. Hit the keys. Here today to talk about the Atom Audio A7V active near field monitors. And are they still worth it in 2025, 2026? I'm going to answer that for y'all right off the bat. Yeah. So obviously these are the Atom Audio A7Vs. How I'm gonna do this today, this review or this demo is, first off, let me say thank you to Atom Audio for sending these over for me to do a review on. Much appreciated. No worry, guys. They have no impact on anything I'm gonna say, and they're not gonna see the video until you see the video. So the way I want to start this review off is I kind of want to talk about my first impressions. So I've had a bunch of monitors over the years. So I've had some IK Multimedia Precision 6s, some IK Multimedia MTMs. I've had some Atom Audio T5Vs. I've had some Yamaha HS8s. I've had some KRK Rocket 8s. I've had some Fostex monitors. I've had some JBL monitors. I've just had a plethora of monitors over my time. And when I first played these monitors, don't judge me, but the first song that I played was Pretty and Petty by Cardi B. And immediately upon first listen through these monitors, I was like, these are the best monitors I've ever heard in my life. And I only listened one song. Like, typically, you got to burn monitors in and all that good stuff. But I didn't really have to burn these monitors in. They just worked right away. So a lot about these monitors. Let's go ahead and talk about the pricing first. So bam, you can get these. They're typically $899.99, but currently you can grab them from Zounds for $809. So you can get them for like, $90 off. And if you wanted to go the smart way, let's say you just had enough money for one of these monitors, you could buy one and then get the other one with no credit check. It's just something that you can consider. But yeah, they're 809. We'll talk about a few of the specs. I'm just going to read the specs off the screen because this is kind of how I do things. So as you see here, the tweeter is rotatable. We'll talk about this in just a moment. The woofer is a 7-inch MLM woofer. So it's a 7-inch multi-layer mineral woofer. The coil is 33 millimeters. The frequency response on this, which is something that's important, is 41 hertz all the way up to 42 kilohertz. The max peak SPL per speaker is 105 dB SPL. It's got a 24-bit converter. The internal sample rate is 96 kilohertz. The power RMS is 110 per woofer, and then 20 for the tweeter. And then ultimately this thing weighs about 23 pounds. It is built like a rock. Very, very fire speaker. So as we talk about some of the things about this speaker, I will say that these speakers are very balanced. So with the speakers, it doesn't get too harsh. So no matter how much I turn the speakers up, the speakers don't get too harsh. And that is a plus when you're mixing, because you want to hear your music on all different levels. So you want to hear it when it's very quiet. You want to hear it when it's in mono. You want to hear it when it's loud. And the fact that it doesn't get distorted at any level not only makes the experience of the speaker better, but it also gives you less ear fatigue and it allows for you to mix longer. So like I told you, I listened to Cardi B first, and then I just went through and I think I spent probably 4 hours just listening to a bunch of the songs in my mixes and listening to a lot of the things that I had going on. And I didn't get ear fatigued. I enjoyed the whole experience. So another thing that's cool about these monitors is this ribbon right here. So I'm not gonna take it off and demonstrate it in this video, but this ribbon technology obviously is gonna be a little bit cleaner than cone technology when you're talking about the high-end frequencies and stuff like that. So, the difference between this monitor and another monitor with this is that you see the ribbon right here, all that gold. It's not like you know what I'm saying? It's not like a cone, you know what I'm saying? So with this, you can unscrew these 4 screws and then you can turn it sideways. And then when you turn it sideways, you're able to use your speakers like that. What's dope too is I always recommend getting these rubber things. Oh, it fell off. But I always recommend getting these rubber things to put underneath your speaker because, you know what I'm saying, it'll get less vibration on the desk. And it'll give you less desk vibrations and feedback from that in your mix. So You can typically get those with speakers, or they're like 15 bucks, 20 bucks, they're not that expensive. But I definitely always recommend the rubber stoppers, as well as I always recommend, if you're gonna get speakers that are in this class, at this point, you should have some kind of treatment in your room, because you don't want to do the monitors a disjustice, right? So you should, at this point, when you're investing in these monitors, also have some kind of treatment, some kind of panels. I've done a video on how you can make panels for $5 a panel. You know what I'm saying? And if you have to get some of the materials, it's barely any more than that. But I've done a video on that. You can check that on the channel. It's got like 100,000 views. It's one that you guys should check out. Another thing about this is that it has a nice low end. So I feel like the low end on this is a good representation of the mix. I will say that the bass ain't gonna be as boomy as something like a KRK, which that's a good thing, or like the HS8s or 7s. Like the bass just isn't, it's not as present, but sometimes you don't need the bass to overtake everything. Like y'all know how KRKs are. With KRKs, they're too bass and mid forward. You can't get a good mix out of them. With these, I feel like it's a good balance. And then for me too, and a lot of other people, I have a sub. You know what I'm saying? So, wow. Granted, it is a KRK sub after I just talked all that smack, but I have a sub. So if I'm looking to get some more low-end information, I'm just gonna use my sub. Obviously, Adam Audio has a sub too that can roll with it. I'm just telling you guys my experience and my setup. All right, guys, so as we look at the back of the unit, you'll see here that you've got these room adaptation controls. So you can scroll through these pretty easily. So you have different controls, so you can control your bass. You know what I'm saying? So you can add bass, you can take away bass depending on how big your room is. Then next to that, you have this desk control. And on this desk control, this basically affects like how much rumbling and everything that you get on your desk, I believe. So you can turn it down in order to, obviously adapt to your desk. Next to that, you have presence. So you can push it forward, you can push it back. And then next to that, you have treble. And obviously you can add or take away from treble. Right here, you have this remote control setting, and this is where you're gonna plug it in to where you can set it up to like a little Ethernet box, and then you'll be able to control the speaker through the DSP. The voicing right here is a very nice control, because if you leave it on pure, it's gonna be flat. If you put it on UNR, then it's going to be like a profile that they made, so it makes listening to music more enjoyable. And then if you put it on EXT, it's gonna put it on whatever your Sonar works or whatever your whatever settings you have set up on that. You've got level right here. So you can go from negative 12 dB, it clicks in there at 0 for you, and then you can go all the way up to 12. Down here, you have an RCA and a XLR balanced. They give you a control on this one, so you can toggle in between, and then bam, on the bottom, you got the power and you've got the cord. It also has DSP tuning. So let's go ahead and take a look here at this. So you can set it up to where this is what the back of the monitors look like right here. So let's go ahead and put this in full screen. Let's take this down. All right, I'm gonna put my face off, but right here, this is the back of your monitors. And this right here is basically that on, through a plugin. And you can set up an Ethernet cord, and then you can run it to where you can basically set up your room adaptation no matter where you're at to change the bass, the desk, the presence, all that other stuff. And as you see here, as you're changing it here, it's changing here at the same time. So that's also a good feature in a speaker, because, obviously you're not getting that in most other speakers. One thing that I do want to say is with these monitors, it does have a wide sweet spot. So wherever you're sitting, as long as you're pretty close to in your sweet spot, it's gonna sound the same. It's not gonna sound super off because of these tweeters and the way that the tweeters disperse sound. It spreads it out a little bit wider than a cone would. So that's pretty solid too. Another thing that's nice about this is that it has integration with SonarWorks, but you can use a plethora of other things like, SonarWorks. You can use Arc4. What I like the most though is going to be Arc Studio, because this is more analog. So basically you're running it through here and it's just getting the analog circuitry. And this is what's controlling the room correction versus doing it digitally. I just think that, in my personal opinion, this does the best job. but it is, I think, $300. So it's just something to think about. But all these things, in my opinion, if you're, if you're looking to upgrade your monitors and get into a class where you're at a professional state with your monitors, in my opinion, you should get all the things. You should get the wall treatment. You should get, yeah, I mean, either one's fine. You know, whether you want to go with the SonarWorks, whether you want to go with the Arc, whether you want to go with the Arc Studio. I feel like these things right here are definitely integral in getting a great sound. Another thing about these monitors is that they do have a 2-year warranty, but if you sign into the site, you can get a 5-year warranty on those. So you can't beat that at all. So, I mean, ultimately, what are my thoughts on these monitors? I think these monitors are fire, bro. Like, these are the greatest monitors I've ever owned in my life. I think that if you got a pair of these monitors, these would probably be your forever monitors if it was for a home studio, because you don't need nothing better than this. I mean, I'm being real. Like anything better than this is just pure pleasure, Because at this point with these monitors, the clarity and the sound, I just think that they may be, a few years old, but they're just fire monitors, man. They look good, they sound good, they're heavy. You've got options where you can turn them sideways. Um, Great frequency response on these, the 41 to 42, you know what I'm saying, kilohertz. Just a lot of good features on this on the back, all the little options you can go through on the back. Just some good features for you to be able to go through, for you to be able to have, and a great sound. Especially the fact on the back where you can switch between flat and more comfortable sound to where it's going to be like it's got like a profile in it, so it's like equivalent to like a Bose, where it's just more for your comfort. You can't beat these. You can't beat these, man. I recommend these 10 out of 10, 100 out of 100, 1,000 out of 1,000. So make sure if you guys do like this content, though, you drop a whole elbow on that like button, hit subscribe and that notification bell, so every time I bring you guys a new video, you can be the first to see. I appreciate you guys' time as always, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Some hit the key.